If you follow Ticket social media or the social media of our host, you probably know the news by now. The Hang Zone, Dan and Jake, our noon to 3 show, has decided to move on. They wanted to pursue outside media interests that were seen as conflicting with our station, with terrestrial radio, and the two sides couldn't come to an agreement. Their contracts were up. Negotiations lasted a while, and in the end, neither side could agree to stay together. Dan was here for 24 years. Jake was here for 16 years. They're our friends. We love those guys. We're going to miss them. But when two adults make a big life decision and are resolute in that decision, it is what it is, and we hope that their new ventures turn out well for them. We're sad to lose them, but this is the ticket, and we've lost people before. It's been a pretty resilient radio station over the years, and I'm sure the replacements that our management ends up going with will add to our family here. It's not going to be the same. It's never the same. It wasn't the same when Grego left and when Mike left, and it's not going to be the same without the Hang Zone, but I have confidence that the ticket will still be great.
Yeah, and for all the P1s who've contacted us and said how sad you are, we totally get it. There's been a lot of sadness up here for the last 2 weeks. We do think a lot of those guys, and we've had a lot of conversations with them. The one thing I want to get across is, and this is the way social media goes, it's the way discussions go, both online and off, it's got to be somebody's fault. Who do we go after with a club? I don't think that's fair to our management. I don't think that's fair to Dan and Jake if you want to get mad at them for leaving. Negotiations sometimes don't work out, and we always look for a bad guy, and it's got to be, it's the evil corporation, or it's a couple of guys who, don't appreciate where they are. It's just, this is a layered situation that some of it goes back months, I guess some of it goes back years, and that's just, it's inaccurate, and it's not fair, and it's really, quite frankly, not fair to us. If you think that we had something to do with this, if anything, we tried. I feel like this is all I've been talking about for the last 2 weeks. We didn't know this was going on until very recently, and our first choice was, let's try to keep them here. We want them to stay. They told us they want to try to do something different, and in our conversations with them, they said, we want to go try something new, and we hope we have your support, and that's ultimately what this is. So, yeah, and they say they're not going to come back and compete against us, so, hey, more power to them.
Yeah, I mean, they promised us this wasn't about going and trying to compete against the ticket family and all that sort of thing, and you got to take them at their word on that, and it's, we hate losing those guys. Good guys, good friends of ours, and things change, and what we know is that this team is still here, who's still on the field, and we're still going to be doing radio, and that's what we're going to do. It's another bit of unfortunate change that we have to deal with in a time that we've dealt with a lot of change over the past few years. But we will deal with it as best we can, and we're going to go on, and we're going to laugh a lot.
Yeah. And I'm super proud of everybody here in this room and Bob, in particular, just because we fought hard, man. We tried everything that we thought we could to make this happen. And not just like George, you're saying, like fighting the company. That wasn't what it was about at all. We were working both sides trying to make this happen. And like you said, it's all that I've thought about for the last 2.5 weeks, day and night. I've ignored my family. I've done anything and everything to try whatever I can to keep those guys here. And in the end, it didn't happen. And they wanted to, they want to pursue something that outside of the ticket, outside media interests. And in the end, as Jake told us, look, it kind of boils down to, we just want to do something different. And once you've made up your mind that that's what you want to do, it's very, very difficult to convince someone because they were offered a lot of what they wanted. And it's tough to convince someone that if they really don't want to be here, to stay.
Yeah.
And I think that's really it in a nutshell.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's a term I never really. Man, I'm sorry, guys. There was a term I never heard 25 years ago, and it's gutted, and that's. I'm sorry. I really should be able to talk about this. They're happy, and that's great. I'm a little crushed. It'll take me a little while here, boys. So I'm sorry.
No, that's fine, Bob.
Right.
Bob, obviously, more invested than we are because you worked side by side with Dan for a long time, and then Jake, and yeah, that's very understandable.
Yeah, those are my brothers. So this really sucks. And in the end, the details, who's at fault, and all that. I was pretty confident we could fix this somehow. So
Yeah, we all were.
Yep.
You were saying, George, I can't remember, Gordon, we didn't know about it until you guys were gone on vacation,
Yeah.
I came back from vacation and was waylaid by it 2.5 weeks ago. What? What's going on? And, they kind of kept it to themselves. But the moment I did find out was the moment that I went to work and reached out to everyone, and you guys in particular, what's going on here? And something's not right. And it felt weird. And through it all, literally up until yesterday, there was hope.
There was hope.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And look, it sucks. I've known Jake since he was 18 years old and showed up here with purple hair and kept in contact with him through college and told him let's not lose touch, man. You got something, there's something there, and tried to shepherd him through a lot of different things, and stuck up for the kid a ton. And it, for me, it's like losing a little brother, but I tried. And in the end, it's really difficult to talk someone out of what
if they want to go. They want to go,
yes,
and follow their heart,
right? And that's it. I think a lot of people can't understand, why would anyone leave this place? Why would anybody on their own leave this place? I feel that way.
Yeah,
You guys, everyone's going to feel the same way about something.
Exactly. Yeah. I know you guys feel that way, and they didn't, and that's their prerogative.
Yeah, and I've seen again a lot of the feedback is, boy, look how they're losing people. Understand about this radio station. Do you have any idea how unique what we have is,
Yeah.
and what has been going on with those guys here for that long, with Norm here that long, with some of the other people like Mike, who was here, who started the station and left, retired, and it's so unusual what we have here. And for
we
those
get
around,
spoiled by the stability.
we kind of get
Yeah.
spoiled, and when something happens, it's like, oh my God, the world is ending. And you know what? Someday the critics of us, the people who don't want us to succeed, who are laughing about this, obviously we're not laughing about it. And I'd be careful about laughing about it, because we've been through some things before and we get stronger. There's some of y'all out there thought we were dead in the water a year ago.
Yep.
We've had the highest ratings this station has ever had over the last year. And pummeled some of the people who are laughing out there. Right. So I'd be careful what you laugh at out there.
I'm backing away.
You back away all you want.
The commander gets angry.
No,
well,
I'm giving you an amen.
Because you know what? We don't seek out your feedback, but we hear it, and sometimes we see it, and I don't forget it. Trust me on that one.
And for the P1s who are trying to deal with this or make sense of this, not just the Hang Zone, but Norm retiring, and there have been a lot of changes here. This is an all-sports station at its heart, and what happens to your favorite sports teams? Players move on.
Yep.
You cannot keep the same roster.
Players you love.
Yeah, players you love. To George's point, the fact that we've been able to keep the same roster together for roughly 25 years is a radio miracle.
It does
not happen
anywhere else in the country.
And
it hasn't happened.
So just like sports teams where favorite players move on and they go to rivals or they retire or whatever it is, it's hard for a sports team to keep a roster together for 3 years, much less 25. We've been very fortunate, and I still like our roster. We still have the Musers, and we still have the Hardline, and we still have Donovan, and we're going to introduce 3 new hosts here sometime soon, and we still have fake Jerry and fake Nolan and fake Tiger. We still have
the P1s. That's the thing.
We still have the P1s.
We've hopefully, if what people are saying is correct and that we've become more than just a radio station to them because we've become part of their life for being there so long, we hope that the life continues. And
Amen.
And I don't think that there's any reason to let our relationship fall apart between us, each other, or the P1s. And we're going to keep coming into work. We're going to keep playing ball as best that we can. And I hope everything works out for everybody. And like I said, those guys swear that this is not about going and then trying to compete against us. They're friends. And they're our friends, and we believe them.
Yeah, and I hope that they, in the world of podcasting, I hope that they kick ass. I do. I wish nothing but success on those guys and in that world. They're talented dudes, and they're good friends, and it's why we fought for them so hard.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I can talk now without crying. So I would just say, the shows will go on, and we got a very talented crop of kids who, and with no disrespect with that term, but I think we'll come up with some really talented shows, and of course we will. But I don't think for a second that because of the uniqueness of this place that this it's different to us, and maybe just hearing you guys talk about the stability of this place, and I've said this before on the air, but I swear it was 2002 or 2003 when people were wondering how many years this place had left in it. And this place is special, and these guys are special, and we hate to lose any of them. But the show will go on. The ticket will go on, and partly because the guys in this conversation are resolved to make sure that this ain't it.
Hell yeah, Bob!
That's what I'm saying, Bob.